How to enter dimensions in SelfCAD drawing. Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how you can draw with precision in SelfCAD. To get started, I will start with a 3D sketch. The same would be for freehand drawing as well. Whenever you activate the tool, you see the things over here activate on the bottom. So if I deactivate, by default if you enter the tool, the line drawing gets activated. You can click again to deactivate or activate any other tool. As you activate the tool, the settings will always show you based on what's relevant. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a line drawing. When it comes, the first thing is before we start with dimensions, you want to start with positioning, how you position on the plane. For that you have two ways. The first thing I'm going to show you, what I've shown before in many other videos, is the precision settings. From this drop down where you have plane and profile and precision, in the precision settings you have two options, mostly how to position your points on the plane. The first thing is you can set the snapping options, and if you have nothing on here, there's nothing to snap to. The only thing that can snap is grid vertices. If you activate this, it allows you to start drawing from point A to point B by simply snapping to grid vertices. And you can obviously adjust the grid vertices based on the workspace settings. You can adjust the grid boxes and so on. The next thing that you have over here is for positioning in precision is also the minimum angle step size. So it remembers the settings. I've turned it on before. The default is 15, but you can adjust it as needed. And it would work once you have a drawing. So if I have a minimum angle step size, there's no angle to measure from, but if you continue from an existing drawing or from, let's say, an existing drawing, could be any other drawing, then the angle will activate. So if I have a minimum angle, I can draw straight basically, because I know I have I cannot deviate in very tiny details that would be less than this. Okay, so this is basically positioning over here, but now I want to show you how you can do all of them with entering measurements as well. The second way is, now I turned off let's turn off the grid vertices, and next thing is, if I have my line active, I have over here point positioning, so you can position them with precision. So I'm going to type in 0, start drawing from 0 position. Y is irrelevant here, the Y is the height in my case, so positioning over here 0, so you see it already positions the dot over here, and I click enter. Now once I click enter, I can enter the length, so I'll enter, let's say, a line of 100, and now I'll go to the angle, and I'm actually not sure if the first will have an angle, so let's see. If I make an angle, let's say for 45-degree angle, actually it does measure. Okay, so you have a 45-degree angle, and let's say now I'll make a length of 100 again, and type in, click tab to tab to the next box, and type in a 60-degree angle, and you continue drawing and so on. And this basically is what you can do here. Let's say a line of 200, and now let's make an angle of 90-degree angle, and as you can see, this continues the drawing, and then basically I can just snap to it, whatever. So this is basically how you can draw with precision, and each of these tools have text boxes activate according to what you have. So this is while you are drawing. You can later obviously scale the entire object, and you can also activate a single point to scale them, a single line to move and scale them, or a single vertex, and adjust them using all of these options to basically just adjust anything. You can also later use the edit details and measurement tools, which are actually more precision based. The idea here is, so let me show you what I mean more precision. So if I'm going to move, for example, this vertex, I can resize everything, so it may move other things. So the only thing that is missing here, as compared to parametric software, is you don't have constraints. So if you're moving one line, you're not guaranteed you're not going to remove the other line if you use basic scaling. When it comes to the measurement tool, that's a little bit easier, and over here you have two options. You have length and angle. So if I measure a length from here to here, and I know I've entered 200, so you see the box is 200, I can resize them, and my resizing has an option apply to entire object. So I want this to be a certain size, but everything should proportionately resize, and that's actually a very good option if you want to resize everything based on some lines. And the other thing is also, obviously you can show guides, which you've just shown before, and then if I'm going to resize it, you have an option to start and finish, or both. So I'm going to make it both, and resize this to 100, so it basically resized this, and this gives me a lot more control of each line the way I want them to resize. You can also resize angles, adjust. So if I measure this angle from here to here, and you see we have these guides, but I don't need it. It's a 24.88. Let's make it a 20-degree angle, and you can see it adjusted the angle as well. Again, without constraints, you may sometimes resize something, but yeah, that's basically the idea over here. In edit details, it's a little bit more easier if you want to work with a lot of lines, adjusting a lot of stuff. And for that, you can use the collapse option. So collapse option is basically used to collapse something. So if I'm going to collapse, for example, from here to here, it completely collapses them and removes the vertex as well. But you can enter an offset. So if I want this line to be, for example, 40, so I can enter a 40 offset, and then I have the same option, start, finish, or both. So I'm going to make both, and if I click from here to here, it basically offsets it. It says remove 0 because basically they didn't connect to each other, but it allows me to offset everything. So I can click from here to here, and you see all of these lines gets offset. So this is good when you have a lot of lines to adjusting things. You can just adjust the size over here and move lines. That's basically it. This doesn't have an angle option, but it's another option you have. So overall, you have precision as much as you need to draw them. The only thing that SelfCAD is lacking is constraints. There's no constraints, so there's no way to make sure that one line never gets moved or extended, so you can basically freely move everything. But in most cases, if you're drawing them correctly with precision to begin with, and then adjusting it, this is perfectly fine for most requirements. Okay, I hope this video was helpful, and please let me know in the comments if you want me to show anything else. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye.